Here's the deal. 9 times out of 10, when the relationship comes to an end, when it's about to come to an end, you have already been slandered. Your reputation has been dragged through the mud in her circles. They've said everything negative about you. She's sold a narrative of what a piece of crap degenerate you are. Not all women. We're talking about women when relationships or associations don't end on their terms. They've already rolled you underneath the bus. That's why some guys, the married guys or whatever, the divorce be happening before the divorce. She's already character assassinated you with her family, her friends. She's built a coalition of simps, a bunch of beta weak dudes, and her family members, and they're going to try and crucify you. Period. So this T app, them slandering men and all this other nonsense, it doesn't matter. What does matter is now dudes have a Hofax report, a report of who she slept with, who she's been with. The fact, no matter what she says about that dude probably smashed. And this lowers the price. This is what she's willing to accept in a man. These are the circumstances. This is who's coming over at 11 o'clock at night. Now you know the deal about her. You know the real deal about her character, who she is as an individual. That's why I tell you guys, let these women keep talking. The more they talk, the more game they give you on how they move, how they operate, how vindictive they are, what they're about. You see, you don't correct them. Don't try to fix anything. Just go along with the conversation. It will give you an in-depth glance into their mindsets, their mentality, how they move, how they think, who they associate, what they allow men to get away with. See, what you guys don't understand is this. You're dealing with a more toxic modern women. Not all women. I'm not talking about the good sisters. The good sisters, please skip this video. It's not for you. There's a certain percentage of women that have indulged in this sexual liberation, this hyper feminism, that have, got into sororities in college, got ran through, pounded. There's some terrible side effects of sexual liberation. It can jack up a woman's brains. It sends them crazy. And because they're not living in the order with their own nature, now they're getting ran through. See, they fought against men. Men, the so-called, they call patriarchy evil. But fathers protected their daughters. We protected women from this debauchery, what they call the oppression. They wanted to be, now there were some terrible men, but they wanted to be from under the leadership of men. So they realize why this trauma bonding stuff, they love trauma. Modern women love trauma. Because without the supervision of guidance of men, they get into their feelings and their emotional. That's why emotional and discipline and intelligence is so important. Fathers help to install that in their daughters. Good fathers, not no simp, beta ass fathers that be, controlled by the wife and all that other nonsense. The fact of the matter is this: these women have gone rogue since sexual liberation. Feminism has drove them crazy. And now they're addicted to a certain mindset mentality. You think putting a dude on a T-app, that's like advertisement for them. They like that. Because that's why they watch these Tyler Perry movies and all this other stuff. They love that drama. It's kind of like this, man. When I used to do police work back in the day, they would have, like, each drug dealer, like these junkies, I'll give you that, the drug addicts, right? There'll be a bad batch of heroin. Like, just say this particular drug dealer on these glassine packages with a little small package of heroin. Let's say this one is called Diabolical, right? And it's the flavor of the day. Maybe this guy cuts it too much with that fentanyl. And let's say there's a bad batch out there where like 5-6 people die in a day in a particular area. 5 of them overdose. Overdose is not a pleasant thing, obviously. I've dealt with a lot of that stuff. People, they don't understand that CPR can be quite aggressive, especially when you're doing chest compressions. Whatever the ratio is now, would it be 15-1? They don't even do rescue breath as much anymore. But anyhow, the point I'm trying to make is this. You would think that all of the drug addicts in the area would say, you know what? Shoot, they got that Diabolical over there is killing everybody, deleting them. You would think they wouldn't, they'd be like avoiding that area because it's a bad batch of bad drugs. Guess what? Guess what? They don't avoid that area. In fact, they crowd that area. They figure if everybody's dying in that area, that must be the best shit on the block, the best shit in the area. So I have people coming like from out of town. And like I was talking to one of them, I'm like, don't you know there's a bad batch in this area? And like that's why I'm here. And as a young guy on the job, I was baffled. They wanted to try it. They're like, I want, I'm just making up the name Diabolical, but they wanted to try that crap. They didn't care. It just turned them on. They wanted to hit it. They thought that was the, maybe they couldn't handle their drugs or whatever else. They're going trying to get to the drug. It's the same way with this damn T-app. You put a certain type of man on the T-app, the women are going to want to get at him. They're going to give him that box. Because they're addicted to trauma, they're addicted to drama, they're addicted to a certain type of man. You understand? All it is, this doesn't change anything. You can, all the stuff that happened with Derek Jackson and his wife, he still got 4-point-something million women on his Facebook page making that money. Cam Newton has like 8 wives. Nick Cannon like 8, 9. Well, it don't matter how many kids they have with different women. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. It's just animal behavior. It's just animal behavior. Period. They're giving these certain type of dudes free advertisement. You know who she's sleeping with at 11 o'clock at night. So when she tries, somebody's got to date me and, I'm holding it out for marriage or whatever else. No, she's not. No, she's not. She's getting viciously and vigorously pounded out at night. Not holding out for nothing. There's no virtues or whatever else. They're modern women. They're into feminism. Now, the religious grift that's going on right now, where they're trying to after they, obviously, the church has turned into a 304 retirement home, and now they're trying to sucker that dude they wouldn't date when they were 23 years old and marrying them and taking care of them for the rest of their life. It's about money now. That's why all of a sudden, this provider man. And looking for a sucker. A sucker. That's what they're looking for. And there's some dude that believe that women can just be sanctified and just give up all that 304. Once a 304, always a 304. It only takes some hardship or some difficulty for all that religious stuff to go out the back door, and she's going to go back to her nature, which is, getting ran through. For profit, probably. Trying to make some money. It's hard to change that stuff. But I'm saying, like, this is a whole facts report. Nobody gives a damn. They're still going to sleep with the same guys. Doesn't matter what you say about them. If anything, they say, well, this guy's getting a lot of women. He must be a champion. That's how they view it. Because they're addicted to toxic. They're addicted to drama. That's why they like Tyler Perry. They love it. That's who they are. So you just want to avoid, I tell you, you're dealing with the 5% women. You want to avoid these type of women, especially when they weren't raised in a environment where they have a good father who they respected and follow he's a masculine, traditional father. They listened to him. They followed his leadership. The wife listened to him, obeyed him. We have too many sim fathers out here, man, producing girls that, don't protect their bodies, don't take care of themselves. They go out here, they get ran through. But anyhow, the T-app, just a whole facts report. So let them keep talking, let them keep posting. You get a report. Their slander don't mean a damn thing. They can say it all day long. At the end of the day, if there's no evidence to prove anything, there's no facts, so there's no information. No one's going to take anything on a T-app serious in real life unless you have the evidence to prove that or facts to back that up. They can get in trouble for slander, but at the same time, they get sued for that. But at the end of the day, why? Why bother? Why not just let them put that information out there so you can get a Carfax on the activity and you know how to avoid their asses like the plague. Anyhow, I'm out. I had to go grocery shopping. Hey guys, make sure you hit the like button. I'm out.